So what's up? It's Stajan, and today I'm just going to be talking about how high school low-key was like one of just the most tiring, exhausting things. And I promise you, like, if you're in high school now, just get through it, because it kind of gets better. You get to have more time to yourself. You realize that when you're in high school all day for like 7 to 8 hours straight every single day, that you're really not in the right mental space, and the people around you are also not in the right mental space. I just graduated last year and I'm in college now. And one thing that I am noticing is that just the schedule difference is so much more relaxing, like on your like brain and shit. Like I will wake up at 8 o'clock. And for when I was in high school, I would have to wake up like at fucking 6:30 in the morning just so I could possibly make it on time. So it's definitely it's an hour difference, 2 hour difference, but it's definitely like a big difference that you notice. So you're getting up like later, after you just finish high school. It's such a relief. And sometimes you just look at the time and go like, shit, like I could hop on a game. I have time to take a fucking shower. I have time to fucking, go text my friends and kind of think about what I gotta say. In high school, you don't have that luxury. You have to get out of bed at a pretty early time. And then, even if you don't, you have to wake up at 7 or like you stay in school longer. You're in school pretty much all day. You're there for almost 8 hours straight. And it's not even like you're getting paid. It's not like you have a reward at the end of it. The only thing you're getting from that shit is a fucking diploma. And, maybe if you like hop schools and shit, or you maybe had to move around, maybe it was unfortunate, maybe you liked it, at least you got different exposures to different people and such. But people like me, who was in the same high school for almost 6 years in a row, had to see pretty much like the same fucking people and almost, maybe one or two new kids, because I went to like an exam school, just a top place school. You realize that like you just get tired of seeing the same fucking people. And it's not like, I made friends with some people, and I didn't make friends with a lot of people. But I'm not saying like I'm an outcast or some shit. I'm saying like it's just seeing the same people over and over again, knowing you aren't really going to be friends, is just mentally and not draining. Just the same people, like the same exact classroom over and over again. Like you just didn't change up your scenery at all. It's you come in the morning, you go to your homeroom class, and then you go to your second, third period. Then you sit in the same lunchroom with the same exact setup, the same type of people. You have to see like a long ass line to get food, and then you go to your next classes, and you might talk to some people that might better up your day if you see some friends, or if there's like some fucking drama going on. If you like drama, that might, change up your day a little bit. But then you still got to go to fourth or fifth or, sixth if you have a seventh period. But like to go on with that, like I feel like a lot of things that really like mess it up. One of them that came off the top of my head is sports. If you played a fucking sport, like golly, like I played football sophomore through senior year, you would have to stay at school for almost an extra 3 or 4 hours, and you weren't coming home late because those coaches, they would yell at you if you missed a practice, golly, or for God forbid if you miss a fucking game or some shit without like a good reason. But then you would probably be on the bench or some shit at that point. But yeah, playing a sport would definitely prolong your day in high school, especially if the coaches were kind of like dickwads like mine. Then it would just make it less fun, so you would end up like leaving that sport or some shit. Another thing is like if you probably had strict parents. Luckily, like I didn't have to deal with that type of like issue, but some people, when I met people that came into college, they had strict parents, and now they kind of have that freedom. So now that they have that freedom, they're kind of like losing their minds and shit, and they realize, oh shit, this is really the world. I could have fun and shit. I'm in a little bit of debt. But also like it would be bad if you like got into some type of like relationship with somebody, boy or girl, because you would see your partner every day. I guess like that's a bonus if you really like them. But if you guys like broke up or some shit, and you're walking down the hall, it could just be awkward sometimes. Like especially if y'all didn't like end on a good note, you'll just see that person every day, and it's like, oh nah, they don't exist anymore. It's like fuck them or some shit. So it's kind of like you'll end up in those types of situationships where things didn't work out. you might end up in the same class as that person next year if you're still in that school, and it's just awkward. And you know, that's what kind of like brings in the drama. But that kind of goes along with being mentally draining, because you might see people that, you know, you had a falling out with, people that you're just not cool, and you still gotta probably see them like at least a few times a week. You might walk by them in the halls, their name might be mentioned, because, you know, you have friends that are friends with, you know, people you may not like fuck with. So it's just like draining to hear somebody's name mentioned, or just see them on, like, you know, just see them on the intercom or some shit, and you just gotta like stress about it. But, you know, just don't get yourself into too much bullshit. If you're still in high school, try to keep it chill, try to, you know, have a good friend group. I'm not saying don't make any friends at all, but if you know someone's problematic, then, you know, you're kind of low-key better just going through high school, just doing your work, keeping a low profile, shutting the fuck up, because, you know, people kind of take things out of like proportion, especially like this generation. If you do something, they're gonna go like, oh, why the fuck you do that? Not like speaking from too many bad experiences, but I just seen people go through just bullshit just because like people in high school, they have nothing else to do, or like, you know, they kind of have a mental illness, so they just want to like do some bullshit. But I promise you, like, life after high school does get better. At least the summer, you know, you have time to think that summer. You don't have to worry about too much. If you're going into college, I promise you, college is so much more better if you just, you know, you go into it, focus, you don't let your classes drop off, you attend all your classes, and it's really not that bad, because you're not having classes 8 hours straight a day. You're really just, you know, locking in. You have more days off and shit. Or, you know, if you're going to the military, you know, good luck with that. That might be, you know, that's going to be what it is, but, you know, you'll reap the benefits of it. Or, you know, you're doing a trade or something. But yeah, the other side of the river is green. As long as you do have a plan, you're going to do something eventually. Maybe you do want to take a gap year, that's fine too. Just, you know, be cordial with it and such like that. But yeah, honestly, good luck. If you're like a freshman or some shit in high school watching this video, like, good luck. You know, I hope you're gonna make it through, but it's just gonna get more painful, especially where I live. Like, they're making them like have more hours in school. They have to have like gym class every single day or some bullshit like that. And, you know, I kind of don't see the point, because the main objective of school should be like learning, kind of. And, you know, if people's health, you know, people could worry about their own health, in my opinion. If they fuck up their health, that's kind of them, but maybe that's a little bit extreme. But, you know, thank you for watching this video. It's Stagin, and I'm out. Peace.